Hello, this is David with the Liberty Defensive Firearms Training Institute. And what I want to go over with today is the 4 rules of firearm safety and why they're important. Alright, this is pretty much a quick and dirty video because of an incident that just occurred here at the test range. I'm about to show you some things so you'll understand why it's important to observe the 4 rules of firearm safety and how they prevented me from having a really bad situation go even worse. Alright. Test firing a customer supplied firearm to determine problems with the following. Alright. What we got here, as you can see, is a 458 SOCOM, and as you can see we were having keyholing issues with it at 16 yards. Alright. So what we done was I wanted to fire the rifle, and here's the upper in question. It's a 458 SOCOM, and what we determined was we shot a round or two unsuppressed, and as you can see, they're nice clean round holes. But then when we shot them suppressed, we were getting horrible keyholing. So I wanted to get a baseline to make sure it wasn't the rounds that were unstable and it was actual baffle contact. Well, this barrel is only this long, okay? It's a short barrel rifle registered gun. Well, here's the deal. The brass I've got right here, let's turn this brass over so you can see it, is, I'll get down here with it closer in just a second. Alright, let me zoom back in, focus on this. If you'll notice, these primer marks on these first 3 are very pronounced, and then this primer mark is very light. This primer was detonated when I charged the firearm, and here's the hole it created when I did. Okay, I had my finger off of the trigger. It was beside the weapon. Let me see if I can show you this. I had the firearm in this position, pointed down. Let me get it focused again. Alright, pointed down with the bolt locked to the rear. I dropped a live round in the chamber, reached over with my offhand and hit the bolt release. And when I did, the firearm discharged. The firing pin floated up into that primer that you've seen that was fired light and detonated the round. Now, I had my finger off of the trigger. I treated all guns as if they're always loaded. The main one that this one followed was be sure of your target and what lies beyond it. I had it pointed directly at the ground, directly in front of me into a soft area, not at a concrete barricade or what have you. It was into soft dirt, as you can see by the large hole it made, so that when it did close and detonate, it didn't do any harm. It did stir up an enormous cloud of dust. But this is just further reinforced that this gun's probably working fine. We checked the fire pin and it looked good. So the excuse me, the rounds that we're shooting, I'm not sure who makes these. Looks like it says SBR. I'm not sure who that is, but I could go inside and look, but I don't think it's the cartridge that was at fault. I just think it had a soft primer. As you can see by looking at it, it's not struck near as heavy as the ones that were fired deliberately, and we haven't been able to make it reproduce it since. We're real edgy with the gun now, but as you can see, that's a 500 grain bullet. That's a whole bunch of horsepower you don't want to be messing with. So, but I just wanted to show you why it's important to observe the 4 rules of firearm safety. Even when you're loading the gun, it's this important, because if you don't, you're going to have problems, and they could be very, very bad. That would have been very ugly had it been pointing in a direction that you wouldn't have wanted. So just keep that in mind when you're on the range, that even when you're loading your gun, observe the rules. I mean, you know, rule number 1, all guns are always loaded. Should cover it regardless, but don't get complacent. That's what I guess I'm really trying to strive here, is don't get complacent, because it could turn out to be potentially fatal. All right, so that's what I wanted to bring to you. So y'all have a good one. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.